Yes, that's right. Volim to Dinamo. I love you, Dinamo. Were the chants that were heard and the singing that was heard earlier this morning in the change rooms of the Dinamo Zagreb support players after they qualified for the European Champions League. My name is Tonchi Prusats. Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on Dinamo TV. And first of all, on behalf of everyone here at St Albans Dinamo in Melbourne, Australia, we'd like to wish our sister club, Dinamo Zagreb, all the very, very best for the upcoming UEFA Champions League. Congratulations. And it is worth anywhere between 30 and 35 million euro just to qualify for this year's badged, if you like, version of the Champions League. And that's just the bare minimum. Wait till they start accruing points. Draws and wins also earn the Zagreb club a pretty packet. Don't despair. The Croatian clubs, the rest of the Croatian clubs in the Prva Hrvatska Nogometna Liga also stand to gain approximately 800,000 euros in solidarity payments from UEFA. Mind-boggling, isn't it? We've got a great show tonight, a huge show, folks. Do stay around for tonight because we've got some great guests, and we've also got the live draw of the 2024 tournament groupings. That's going to be conducted a bit later on in the program. We'll be joined by Damien Brešić from the Croatian Soccer Association of Australia a little bit later on in the show. And we'll cross over to the Dinamo club rooms where we will be also joined by Marko Butorac, representing the organising committee from Dinamo, as well as Tom Lukic, who is a member of the Croatian Soccer Association of Australia committee as well. We will be speaking to Ian Burke, the Dinamo men's under-23s assistant coach as well on the season that was. But unfortunately, because we've got so much on tonight, part two of our Living Legends interview with Mick Cholina, the great Mick Cholina, that will be held over for another week until next week. Otherwise, we probably would have had a 2-hour show tonight. But so it is going to be a jam-packed show. We're going to start off with the news desk on the other side of the commercial break. Folks, you are tuning in to DinamoTV. Don't go away.
The IND Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. IND partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, IND now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The IND Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
It's time for the news desk, and unfortunately we must start on a bit of a somber note in memoriam to Emmanuel Mani Ochana. St Albans Dinamo Football Club wishes to express its condolences to the family of Mani, a long-time sponsor and supporter of our club who recently passed away. He is survived by his wife Hanan and children George and Mary. May he rest in peace. It's sad news indeed. We're moving along now to the senior women. And the senior women played, first of all, on the weekend. It was a tough game against Westgate. That was last Friday. We could only manage one goal, and that was through Iva Grgic. And as a result, we slip into, we're in third spot. And unfortunately, doesn't look like we've got any chance of being able to catch Westgate after that. Now, earlier tonight, we found out the news, pardon me, not that one there. We did find out the news that the senior women's fixture for tonight, the game against Altona East, has been forfeited or was forfeited. And so as a result, that means that the Dinamo women gain 3 points. So if we go back to the ladder, that hasn't been updated. It means we jump into, we remain in third spot, but we jump to 33 points, 2 points behind Altona City with the last round of the season to come. And if we put on our graphic there for the fixture, the last round fixture, it's this Sunday at Churchill Reserve at 3 p.m. We come up against Spring Hills. Okay, so make sure to pop out there to Churchill Reserve and get your fix of senior women's football this Sunday. Let's turn our attention now to the Junior Boys NPL Round 18 games played last weekend. We had Dinamo in the under-14s run out convincing winners over Bendigo City, 4-0. Xavier Boulos, Luka Movric, Sebastian Vlahek and Hassan Ahmed scoring a goal apiece for the Dinamovci. In the under-15s, it was a very good 1-0 away win against Geelong, down in Geelong. Dylan Basenko scoring the only goal for Dinamo. In the under-16s, unfortunately, the Dinamo couldn't make it 4 wins from the 4 teams. Couldn't make it a clean sweep. Bendigo City running out 2-0 winners over Dinamo at Churchill Reserve. And then Brunswick City hosted our under-18s, and it was our under-18s that came away with a very good 3-1 win there. Cruz Borg, Yanni Apostolikas and Jonathan Galvan all scoring 1 apiece for Dinamo. We'll go through the ladders and then we'll return back to the fixtures for this Sunday. So the under-14s, they are in third position and quite comfortable there as well. They're clear. In the under-15s, they're in 4th position. Over the page, the under-16s find themselves in 3rd spot, and they're now under-18s looking very good, and I think they've claimed a title with 1 game to go. Or is it? No, we've actually got a few more games to go, 4 more rounds to go. There's still time, but they're looking very, very comfortable, the under-18s at the moment. So they certainly look like they will take out that Division 3 title. Fixtures coming up this weekend, Sunday, the 1st of September, and it is Father's Day, let me remind you. So make sure to treat your dads, grandfathers, parent carers with a win. That would be nice for this Sunday. The under-14s host Werribee City at Churchill Reserve at 10 o'clock. The under-15s also at Churchill Reserve. They host Brunswick City at 11:30 a.m. Then the 16s and the 18s travel away from home. The under-16s, they travel to Harvest Home Recreation Reserve, where they will take on Whittlesea Rangers. And then we've got that game's at 1 o'clock at Harvest Home Recreation Reserve. And then the 18s, they are away to Ballarat City at the Ballarat Regional Soccer Facility. That game kicking off at 3 p.m. Now, Dinamo Juniors, congratulations to all of our St Albans Dinamo teams which participated in the finals of the Junior Champions League last weekend. Massive shout out especially to our under-13 boys who finished runners-up in their division and our under-10s who took out the under-10 championship. Well done to all the players, the parents and coaches involved throughout this tournament. Fantastic stuff there. Well done. So there's still a bit of football left in the 2024 season, that's for sure. The buffet night, tomorrow night, the Friday, 30th of August, we've got our Father's Day buffet night from 7 p.m. Tickets are $30 for adults. Kids under the age of 16, $20. and kids under the age of 10, $15. Message Anna on 0401505100 to book. Bookings are essential, and you'll be lucky if there are any tickets left, but do jump on that phone and give Anna, message Anna ASAP if you would like to go and still haven't decided whether or not to go. Just a quick reminder about our raffle, the tournament raffle, the official tournament raffle. You can purchase your tickets at Dinamo, so there'll be someone there every day this weekend. Friday night, on Saturday, there'll be someone there on Sunday as well, right up until the last day of the tournament. Tickets can be purchased. Prizes will be drawn on the 29th of September, and prizes will be transferred on the 1st of the 10th. There we go, $20,000 prize pool. First prize is a whopping $15,000. Second prize, $3,500. And then our third and final prize, $1,500. Excellent. Fantastic, isn't it good? We've got a couple of viewers from overseas. John Bilosh is still overseas, but Mega Marlboro 666. Interesting. Pozdrav iz Zagreba, HR. Croatia, that is, of course. Folks, that's it for the news desk. We're going to take a short break. When we return, first of all, we're going to meet the team. This week's Meet the Team is the Under-12 Dinamo Boys Kangas team, which is coached by Rob Mikulic. The assistant coach there is Matt Sharkic. And then straight after that, we will be catching up with our guest for today, Ian Burke, the St Albans Dinamo men's Under-23s assistant coach. Folks, don't go away. DinamoTV.
All right, Tommy, so who would you think is your most annoying player in your team and why? Nicky Shah. 10 times over. And give us a highlight of the season so far. What do you think has been the team's best highlight so far of 2024?
Gully 4-5 at the start of the season. And Pasco Bay and JCL winning 3-2 from 2 minutes down.
And in a couple of weeks we've got the Crow Cup at North Geelong. Do you think we're going to do well?
Yeah.
Do you think we can win it like we did last year?
Yeah.
Are you sure, boys?
Yes!
All right.
I'm the captain, Tommy Kresic, known as Lloyd. And I'm Ethan Kovac, and I'm Harry Lloyd. Harry Lloyd! Hello, my name is Michael Borg, and I'm the centre back for Dinamo.
Hi, my name's Tommy. I'm the left winger for Dinamo's Under-12. Hi, my name's Nick Shah, and I play for Dinamo and I'm our main striker. Hi, I'm George, and I play for Dinamo and I'm the centre.
Hello, my name is Roman Idris, and I'm the right winger for Dinamo.
Hello, my name's
and I'm the centre back.
Hello, my name's Thomas, and I'm the goalkeeper for Dinamo.
And I'm Luca, and I'm the centre mid or striker for Dinamo Under-12.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, and on the screen we've got our first guest for the evening. He's the under-23s assistant coach, Ian Burke. Burkey, how you going, mate? How's things?
Very good, Tonchi. Enjoying a little bit of a rest now that the season's calmed down a little. But about another week, and I guess I'll be missing it.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. Mate, let's talk about what has been quite a big year, obviously, for Dinamo. The under-23s team, that is. It's been a fantastic year, really, when you think about it. Kind of started off a little bit rough, but in the end, it turned out to be very, very good. Tell us, mate, in your own words, summarise the year that was.
Yeah, so I think, look, Tuna and myself have been there 2 years now. When we took over, the team finished bottom the season before. We finished 7th last year, so we wanted some gradual improvement again. And to now finish 4th, I mean, it's unfortunate that the Federation have decided not to have the finals.
Yeah.
Because we really think we could have had a good crack at just about anybody in there. There certainly wasn't anyone that we feared going up against. It was really disappointing that there's no finals. But the gradual progression that the team has made, and also that individuals within that team have made, and then pushed on into the senior setup, I guess that's what our job is. So we're hitting the key markers that the club wants us to hit, and onwards and upwards.
Yeah, well, we've got a photo of the team just at the last home game. That was just before the game against South Melbourne, and let's talk about that game, and let's talk about the second last game of the season when you defeated Green Gully, who was the champion team, I guess, the team that finished on top, and South Melbourne was a second place team. What a way to finish the season, beating the top two teams, and then ultimately finishing the competition in 4th position. There we go. There's the full-time score of that game. 5-3 defeating the mighty Hellas. Mate, what a way to finish the season.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for better. I think you mentioned earlier before, like we didn't have the greatest start to the season. For whatever reason, I think some of the young boys struggle mentally when we play that long stretch of games away from home.
Yeah. And
then the back end of the season, it was exactly the same the year before. The back end of the season, they really come into their own. They love playing at Fox Street. And so to knock off Green Gully second last game was unbelievable, even though they'd already won the league. You still want to match it against the best. And then to go to Lakeside last weekend and put 5 past them. And to be honest, like even the goals that we gave away, we actually gifted goals away. Whereas we came in at halftime, and Tuna and myself, we weren't ropeable, but we weren't happy with the first half because we gifted goals when we were completely outplaying them. So, and just for a bit of extra flair, the game finished. They finished with 9 players and we finished with 10. So, bit of end of season madness, I think, from some of the young boys.
No, fantastic to see the passion, without a doubt. Now, Tuna, in one of his social media posts during the week, speaking of the great man, he did mention quite an interesting fact, I guess, and that's that you took the reins. You and he took the reins of this squad after finishing last in 2022. You moved to 7th place in 2023, and of course, as we saw, finished in 4th position this campaign. Started in the first half of the season and found ourselves in second last place after round 14. That's incredible. Fast forward to round 26, and we managed to turn the ship upstream, which is a true testament to the boys' aptitude and commitment. Now, of course, we saw the senior team later on in the year get some reinforcements, which also helped achieve the goal of avoiding relegation. And I guess that would have helped a little bit with some of the players then floating back to the 23s. But in your opinion, what was essentially the reason for that massive mid-season turnaround?
Yeah, look, I think even if you look at the start of the season, we had some of those players drop down from the seniors when Ryan and Paul were in charge, as well as when Cam and Billy came back. So we tended to have players dropping at most times of the season. I think, if anything, I know for me personally, once Billy and Cam came in, looking at the way that they did things allowed me to then examine the way that I was doing things. And we made a few tweaks with the way that we were training. And it probably took us a little bit of while to, like, we had 5 boys constantly training seniors this year. So our numbers were down for a number of the sessions. And I think it took Adam and myself a little bit of adjustment period as well, whereas the previous season we had sort of anywhere between 14 and 16 at most training sessions. So it was much easier last year to run, I guess, what you would call a normal session, whereas this year we needed to adapt a little bit and realise that with some smaller numbers, I guess we have to focus just on the basics and then just let the boys be a bit more free when it comes to the weekend and let them play.
Yeah. Now, speaking of social media, you in one of your LinkedIn posts not that long ago, about a week ago, said a number of 23s players successfully bridged the gap to senior football, and that's the real achievement for us. For them, I hope it's just the beginning. Let's talk about some of those players that did make the step up. Luka Chabra, I guess he's one of them. He's probably the pick of the bunch, but there were so many others also that eventually had that taste of senior football. How rewarding was it to see some of these boys step up and mix it with the best in the state at senior NPL level?
Well, look, I guess that's our job. Like, I see social media posts at the moment. Plenty of clubs will be advertising that they've got pathways to the seniors, but we just know that at NPL 1, that's not the case. I think with our club, you can definitely see that it is the case. So we've got Luca that's pushed through there. Like, let's be honest, if he continues to kick on, he could start in that senior team for the next decade. He could be an absolute superstar of NPL 1. There's no doubt about that. You got Johnny Maglaris came in, he took his chance, he waited patiently. He tweaked his attitude a little bit when Billy and Cam came on board, and now he's reaping the rewards. But then you've got others as well. Anton Bilic is constantly training seniors. Nick DeBono is constantly training seniors. Yep. Nick Morrie every time Nick Morrie drops back to the 23s, he bangs in goals. So I think with a year of learning under his belt, he's another one that could easily push on. You've also got Alex Maglaris, Johnny's brother. You've got Arben Gagai. You've got Alex Sepavorowski. These are all boys who didn't actually have that full-time training with the seniors this year, but with a decent tourney and then a decent preseason, there's no reason why they can't push in there as well, because that's what Cam and Billy are looking for, who's going to perform. Yeah. So regardless of age, if these boys go in and do the right things, they're going to get looked at.
Now, that's an interesting point you make about the tournament. The tourney's coming up very, very soon, end of September. That's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? It's a perfect opportunity to blood some of these youngsters at senior level against some of the Australian Croatian teams from around the country. But I guess also we're hosting it. Is there pressure to perform? Is there pressure to really take out the title? I mean, that's what you kind of expect from all the hosting clubs, don't you?
Well, look, I guess on the first part of that question, some of those boys that got the senior contracts this year and were able to train full-time seniors, it was on the back of what they did in Adelaide last year. Yeah. So there will be opportunities because not all of that senior squad will be available. So Cam and Billy will be relying on some of them to go in so that they can have an extra look at them against senior footballers. The second part, is there extra pressure? I don't feel like there is, but at the same time, let's be honest, even when we play Knights or we play Dandy City, you don't want to lose to your Croatian brothers and sisters. So
especially locally, yeah.
Yeah, correct. And so the fact that we're hosting, I don't know if that makes a difference or not, because I know when we go over to Dandy or we go down to Summer Street and we play Knights there, we don't want to lose when we play them there either. So, bring it on. I think the whole suburb's going to be rocking for a good week there.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. But let's talk about something else that Tuna said, and I'm going to quote this. It's a really good point. People will tell you that it's not about results in the under-23s, and that's true. But have you ever gone into any contest with the mindset of losing? Development at this level is also about finding ways to win and the factors in football required to come out the victor after 90 minutes. Mate, as a coach of young players, developing players, there's a real fine line between, it's not all about results, but then also at the same time instilling a winning mentality so that it is about results. How do you juggle the two objectives? Because at times they could be conflicting, but at times they can be actually, supporting, couldn't they?
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to do. That's probably, I guess, the thing that we discuss the most on the bench during a game is when we want to make the changes, because obviously it's substitute. It's not like junior football where it's interchange. So once you've made your changes, it is like senior football where someone's off and they're off for the rest of the game. But I guess when you're bringing those players on and you're asking people to close out a game and they might only have 10, 15 minutes, it's as much about them being able to close out the game as it is about somebody who's played the first 60 minutes. So I guess we try and look at it from a squad perspective and make sure that we're trying to develop that whole squad mentality, because who knows, like it might be the next week we need to rely on someone. So if they've been sitting on the bench, they only get a couple of minutes. It doesn't actually serve as a purpose. So we need to know that those boys can then come on the week after it and go with the same attitude and try and close out the game as well.
Yeah.
So, but teaching them little things, manipulating the areas of the pitch where the ball is, trying to maintain the possession, so that we're not putting ourselves under pressure when we're a goal up with 5-10 minutes to go. They're all the little things that's going to allow them to make better decisions for us, which in turn, if they go on to senior football, hopefully they take that knowledge with them.
Yeah. Burkey, I guess as we speak, Football Victoria are undertaking a post-season review of the Junior Boys NPL program. At the moment, no one really knows. There's talk about reconfiguring some of the divisions, and there's talk about introducing an under-19 as opposed to an under-18 program, maybe to bridge the gap between the 23s and 19s. But let's look at this year. It was the first year of the under-23s as opposed to the under-21s. And then below that, we had the under-18s. Now, Mickey Pete's under-18s are doing very well. They're on top of the ladder if you look at it that way, but they're in Division 3. And we want next year as many of the boys' teams to move up to Division 2. Is there too much of a gap at the moment between the under-18s and the under-23s? Or have you managed to sort of get a couple of players stepping in and they've done pretty well? What's your opinion on the structure of youth football at the moment in Victoria?
Yeah, look, I think most teams this year with the 23s, other than the odd player here and there that might have been too old for 21s, the majority of teams stayed fairly young anyway. So I don't think the 23s comp as such has really been affected. In terms of, if I look internally at our club and the 18s, obviously we don't want teams really in Division 3. There's plenty of players in Division 1, Division 2. They would easily step into the 23s comp. No doubt about it. Now, at the same time, we're trying to use those players from Mick, and we have dialogue with Mick every week, asking who's playing well, who deserves to come over and train. I think last year we used about 10 or 11 players for the 18s. I think this year we're up to about 8 again as well. Yep. So these boys are coming through and getting a look. Maybe if it does go to 19s, that gives them an extra year where they don't have to be a 23s player. They can still be on the 19s roster and come up to the 23s like they've done this year.
Yep.
So it probably gives clubs a bit more flexibility to be able to move players up and down. But I guess, time will tell. We'll wait and see when the Federation tell us what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, I guess the plan now is to resume training for the tournament. When's that happening?
Yeah, so we've got, I think we had 3 or 4 weeks off, and then we'll train for a couple of weeks just to get the legs moving again. Find out who's available, who's not. And that even then, that might give some of the 18s boys a chance to come in, because we have got the 23s playing in Division 2 for the tourney.
Yep.
So I'm sure we'll be able to rely on some of the 18s boys to come and show us what they've got.
Well, it should be fantastic. And even though it's the off-season, there is no off-season for us football lovers at Churchill Reserve. Bring on the tourney, cannot wait. And we're going to take a break after this, and we're going to have the actual live draw of the tournament structures. But in the meantime, Burkey, thank you so much for joining us on DinamoTV. Enjoy the rest of your little short break, and then we look forward to seeing you, Tuna, and all the young boys in action at the Australian Croatian Tournament.
No worries. Thank you, Tonchi. And also, thanks very much for all your support this year, mate, with DinamoTV. It's been awesome.
And while we're at it, thank you for your support on game day with the chat with the coaches. We really appreciated it. And welcome back to DinamoTV. The moment, folks, the whole nation has been eagerly anticipating. Yes, it's going to be the live draw of the 2024 groupings, tournament groupings. And, well, we're going to be crossing, first of all, up north to the Gold Coast, where we've got Damien Bresic, a member of the Croatian Soccer Association of Australia, joining us. Damage, how are you, mate? It's good to see you.
Always a pleasure, Tonch. Thank you very much for having us tonight on this momentous occasion, so we say.
Yeah, absolutely will be. Now, there's been some last-minute changes, I guess. Team withdrawals, unfortunately, which sometimes does happen. Bring us up to date with what's going on there.
It wouldn't be a Croatian tournament, Tonch, or we wouldn't be Croatian if we can't change things at the very last minute. We've literally 20 minutes ago received a phone call from Whyalla. Unfortunately, we've pulled out of the Division 2 team, and earlier today we had another Division 2 team pull out. So, but it's all good. We're here to make things work. So we've been able to shift, pivot, change, move forward. So hopefully the draw comes out tonight, and there'll be no more changes after this evening, Tonch.
No, that's exactly right. Well, without further ado, we're going to get straight over to Dinamo, the club rooms at Churchill Reserve. So from the studio and from the Gold Coast studio, we're going to go to the Melbourne studio, and coming live from Dinamo is one of the tournament organisers, or a member of the organising committee, Mark Butorac. Good evening, Budo. How are you going?
Well, gee, pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity as well. To be able to do the draw tonight. We are exactly 4 weeks away from opening night here at Tawny, so it's a pretty key milestone to be able to announce the groups tonight, and then over the coming days we'll be able to release the schedule, and much anticipated.
Yeah, fantastic. And now, Budo, right behind you, that handsome young gentleman standing above the Dinamo podium. Introduce Tom from the Sarves.
Yeah, thankfully we've got Tom here, treasurer of the Sarves, who'll be officiating all the master of ceremonies, I'd like to say.
The government making sure everything goes in order. Good evening, Tonchi. Good evening, viewers.
Good evening, mate. All in readiness there. Now, you guys have got something very, very special prepared for tonight's draw. You're going to have the help of some very, very small Mali Plavi. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got about 10 here at the moment, Tonch. They've just finished training tonight, and fortunate enough that they'll be assisting us pulling out the balls out of the bowl. And this way, no one's going to yell at the 6-year-olds complaining about them not being an unfair draw.
All right, Damage, over to you, mate. You are the compere for the draw.
All right, thanks, Tonch. Look, obviously we've got 5 divisions as per normal. This year there is a little bit of an anomaly with we have got an exhibition women's league, which we'll explain when we get closer to it. But we'll do Division 1, the women, Division 2, Masters, and then we'll finish off with the veterans, and then have a bit of a chat, take any questions, and we'll move forward from there. So I guess without any further ado, we'll start with our Division 1 if my ball people are ready. So in Division 1 at the moment, what we have got confirmed is 10 teams. These 10 teams, as you can most probably see on your screen right now, will be grouped into 2 groups of 5. We'll do 1 New South Wales team and 1 ACT team in each group. The remaining teams will be randomly draws, which includes a South Australian team in Adelaide, Croatia. The top 2 teams from each group will go into the semi-final, and obviously from there into the final. So this one is a fairly simple one. So over to you, Tonch, with balls 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 2. I think we're doing first, just to do the ACT teams.
We're starting off with balls 1 and 2, the 2 ACT teams, O'Connor Knights and Canberra Croatian. So we'll keep them separate in each group. So yep. If the young gentleman, what's your name? Andrew, is that? Patrick. Welcome to DinamoTV. Patrick, please.
So the first number will be Group A. The first number out will be Group A.
So that is, thank you, Patrick. That is ball number 2.
Number 2, O'Connor Knights. So O'Connor Knights will be in Group A, and obviously we don't need a kid to draw the one left one, but he can, or which should be number 1, and Canberra, Croatia into Group B. All right.
So in that, could you please pull out the remaining ball? What number is that? So we've got number 1 here.
Yep. Excellent. Now we'll put 3 and 4 in there, which represents Hurstville, Zagreb, and Sydney United. So the first ball out will be in Group A again. So the first ball out will be Group A.
Please mix it up. We can really put one of the balls in. Thank you very much. So that's ball number 4.
Number 4, Sydney United. So Sydney United in Group A. And
the remaining ball, we can just pull that one out.
One by itself, which should be ball 3, Hurstville, Zagreb. And now we'll put the remaining balls 5 to 10 in there, and these will just be randomly drawn, 1 in Group A, 1 in Group B, until we come to an end. So,
so we've got, Damien, we've got 5 Victorian teams and 1 South Australian team.
Correct. Adelaide Croatia, Dandenong City, Melbourne Knights, North Geelong, St Albans Dinamo, and Strathmore split.
Let's, young gentlemen, we do a bit of a mix it around. And then when you're ready, pull out a ball. Hand it to me. Thank you very much. So that's ball number 5.
Number 5, Adelaide Croatia, our first South Australian team. So Adelaide joins O'Connor and Sydney.
Next in line. Mix it around. Lovely. Thank you very much. And that is ball number 10.
Number 10, Strathmore split with Hurstville and Canberra. Back to Group A.
So that's number 9.
Number 9, St Albans Dinamo, our hosts. St Albans Dinamo, that is already becoming, if we can label it, Tonch, the group of death. Next one out for Group B.
Thank you very much. So that's number 6.
Number 6 is Dandy City. 2 to go. The 5th team in Group A will be.
Thank you very much. So that's number 7.
Number 7, Melbourne Knights. That just confirms the group of death. And the last team remaining should be our friends from down the M1, number 8, North Geelong. Sorry, Tonch, it's not called the M1 in your part of the world, is it? Your highway?
No, that's right. That's right. All good.
So that concludes our Division 1 draw. As I've already mentioned, Group A seems to be an extremely tough group, so any team will be good to get out of that. And Group B, maybe slightly more opportunity for teams to get through, but it is the Croatian Soccer Tournament, so I think every team will be coming here to lift the trophy and emulate what Sydney United did last year at the tournament. And if we have a quick look there, as you see, Group A will have O'Connor Knights, Sydney United, last year's champions, with last year's host in Adelaide, Croatia, this year's host in St Albans Dinamo, and rounding off is the neighbours in Melbourne Knights. And in Group B, Canberra, Croatia, Hurstville, Strathmore, Dandy City, and North Geelong Warriors round out our Division 1. We'll go straight into what's so we'll do so with the women. Unfortunately, this year we've only had the 5 teams nominate in Women's Div 1. So there will be no need to do a group draw on this one. Canberra, Croatia, Dandy City, North Geelong Warriors, St Albans Dinamo and Strathmore split. One group of 5, as I've mentioned. There will be no semi-finals. The top 2 teams at the end of the group stage will go automatically into the final in the women's stage. As Tommy gets the balls ready for Division 2, this one is a little bit more complicated in that, as mentioned a little bit earlier, we've had a couple of teams pull out late, so we did plan on having 3 groups of 5. At the moment, we've got 13 teams locked in, of which 6 are from Victoria and the balance from interstate. We will be doing 2 groups of 4, 1 group of 5. ACT and Queensland will be drawn randomly into a group. Group A will have 3 Victorian teams, 1 New South Wales team, and 1 ACT or Queensland team. Group B will have 2 Victorian teams, 2 New South Wales teams. Group C will have 2 Victorian teams, 1 New South Wales team, and the remaining ACT or Queensland team. The plan with this one will be the top 3 from Group A, which is the group of 5, and the top 2 from Groups B and C, plus the 3rd place in B and C will go into a playoff for the remaining quarterfinal spot. That'll bring us down from 13 to 8, which then we'll have our quarterfinals, and obviously from our quarterfinals into our semis, and then the top 2 into the grand final. So I hope that's all clear. If not, we'll explain it.
And so, Damien, we're starting off with the Victorian teams, who will be drawn. So the first one will be drawn in Group 1, second one in Group 2, third in Group 3, and go through in that order.
All right.
That would be the question. So if you could mix them around for me, please. One out. Mix it really fast.
So the first Victorian team in Group A will be number 12. Thank you, St Albans Dinamo, the hosts.
Yeah.
First Victorian team in Group B.
So that's number 11.
Number 11 is North Geelong. And Group C.
That's number 13.
Number 13 is St Albans Vukovar. Back to Group A.
Thank you very much. So that's number 10.
Number 10, Melbourne Knights. Melbourne Knights and St Albans in the same group, the 2 neighbours. Next Victorian team in Group B.
Number 7.
Number 7. Don't have a number 7. Sorry, Dandy City.
Through me. So that's next one, number 8.
Gorspich Bears.
And lucky last, number 9.
Strathmore Split. So which ones are these now? Are the remainder?
What you do again? Just don't say such a statement. So maybe the next one will be the New South Wales, the 4 New South Wales teams. Now, when you're ready, please go again. Number 4.
Wellington, Croatia.
Guys, just be a bit specific. Which groups are they in? So Warrington, Croatia. Let's go first of all, Strathmore split. Which group is Strathmore split in?
They should be in Group A, the 3 Victorians in Group A, Tonch.
Yep.
So this is now Warrington split is the 1 New South Wales team into Division A. And now we'll be going into Group B, which should be another New South Wales team to join 2 Victorian teams.
Number 3.
Number 3 is King Tom in Group B. Now we go to Group C. Another New South Wales team.
That's number 2.
Number 2 is Sydney United. And that would leave the last New South Wales team, which should be number 5, I'm assuming, is it? Willoughby Dallies. So Willoughby Dallies will be in Group B. And then the last 2 should be the 2 one ACT and number 6 Brisbane Knights. One will be in Group A and one will be in Group C. So the first number out will be in Group A. First one out is in Group A.
That's number 5.
I think that should have been number 6 Brisbane Knights, because we've already had number 5, which is Willoughby Dallies. And the last one left should be number 1 O'Connor Knights. Yeah. So Brisbane Knights are in Group A and O'Connor Knights in Group C. Tonch, I might just read them out because I might have confused a few people. And we do apologise on this one. This is the one where the team pulled out literally 10 minutes before we went to air. So Group A will consist of St Albans Dinamo, Melbourne Knights, Strathmore Split, Warrington and Brisbane Knights. Group B, North Geelong, Dandy City, King Tom, Willoughby Dallies. Group C, St Albans Vukovar, Gorse Bears, Sydney United and O'Connor Knights. And just to reiterate again that the top 2 in each group will go through. Sorry, the top 3 in Group A will progress, the top 2 in B and C, and the third place teams in B and C will go into a playoff for the final quarterfinal spot in Division 2. Right, next one, Tonchi, thank you. Into the Masters, the old boys of the competition. I think I might have confused Tonchi. He's actually just typing up, for those that don't know, he's typing up our thing. So I'll go through the Masters and then we might go back just to show the structure of Division 2 once Tonchi types it up. But in our Masters, it's a very simple one, this one. 8 teams, 2 New South Wales teams, 6 Victorian teams. We're going to put the 2 New South Wales team, 1 in each group. All the Victorian teams will be drawn randomly. The top 2 in every group in the Masters will progress into the semi-finals. And once again, the 2 winners on this will play in the final on the Sunday.
All right, Damage, we've got Division 2, the graphic up there as well.
Thank you, Tonch. You were leaving me hanging for a bit, but it's all good, mate. As we've mentioned, Division 2, Group A will consist of St Albans Dinamo, Melbourne Knights, Strathmore Split, Wellington Croatia, and Brisbane Knights. The Group B, North Geelong Warriors, Dandy City, King Tomislav, Willoughby Dallies, and rounding off the third group, St Albans Vukovar, Gorspic Bears, Sydney United, and O'Connor Knights from Canberra. So 13 teams will take on for the right to be called the Division 2 champion of the 2024 tournament. Already mentioned that one, so I'm sure Tom's ready to go. So we'll get straight into the Masters draw.
So we'll start off with the Victorian clubs.
Yep.
So we'll start off first club drawn will go into Group A, second club into Group B, and then we go back to Group A and then B until we've drawn all 6 clubs out. So
ball numbers 3, just confirming, Tom, we've got balls numbers 3 to 6 in the Couples Bowl.
We've got numbers 3 to 8 in the bowl.
3 to 8, sorry. My eyes aren't working that back. So good to see we're getting used to the Couples Bowl for the second year in a row. So the first one out, and will be in Group A of the Masters, will be number 6, North Geelong. The number 1 team in Group B will be
number 3.
Number 3, Gorspic Bears. Back to Group A. Our little Marley Plive, you're doing a great job.
Number 5.
Number 5, NK Bunker. NK Bunker joins North Geelong in Group A. And joining Gorspic Bears in Group B will be
number 7.
Number 7, St Albans Vukovar. Oh, I won't even call them the neighbours, the cohabitants. Vukovar, Gorspic Bears, St Albans Vukovar. Back to Group A.
Number 8.
Number 8, Strathmore Split. And the last Victorian team out. Sorry.
Number 4.
Number 4, Melbourne Tornado.
That's it?
Yeah. Good job. Now balls 1 and 2, which will be the 2 New South Wales teams, with ball number 1 being Hurstville Zagreb and ball number 2 Willoughby Dallies. So the first ball out will be in Group A and the second ball out will be in Group B. So the first ball out is number
1.
Number 1, Hurstville Zagreb, which leaves Willoughby number 2 and the Willoughby Dallies in number to round out Group B for us.
Number 2.
Number 2, thank you. Again, we'll just give Tonch a couple of minutes for our graphic, but once again, the over 35 is a very popular addition to our tournament a number of years ago, which has grown from strength to strength. A couple of great players that still show up and play, ex-A League, ex-Socceroo players even show up and play in these competitions for us. So it's great to see that the Croatian connection is still alive even when the boys stop playing. So just confirmation of our 2 groups. Group A will consist of North Geelong Warriors, NK Bunker, Strathmore Split and Hurstville Zagreb, while Group B will consist of Gorspic Bears, St Albans Vukovar, Melbourne Tornado and Willoughby Dallies. Thank you, Tonch. While Tom's getting the balls ready for our veterans competition, this will consist of 9 teams. So what we'll do in this one to ensure that everybody gets as much game time as possible, but also at the same time, we understand that there are a lot of older gentlemen play this competition. So we have decided to make this 3 groups of 3. So before clubs jump up and down and say, I'm not going to Victoria just to play 2 games, what will happen is you'll play your 2 group games. We will then So we'll have 2 Victorian clubs based in A and B. All remaining interstate clubs will be drawn randomly. The 2 Melbourne Knights teams will be separated. Once we play your 2 group games, the top 2 from each group plus the best third will go into the quarterfinal. The lowest, the 2 third place will have a playoff game with the winner progressing to the quarterfinal. So in essence, we're going to get down from 9 to 8, and then we'll have our quarterfinals, and then we'll have our semifinals and into the finals. So I think that's the fairest and most equitable way for us to go. Okay, now we'll get into our veterans. As I've already sort of touched on, 3 groups of 3 over to St Albans to conduct the draw, which will start with the 2 with numbers 6 and 7 in the Coopers Bowl, so that we can make sure we keep the 2 Melbourne Knights teams separate. So the first Melbourne Knights team will go into Group A, and the second Melbourne Knights team will go into Group B. So the first number out is
number 7.
Number 7, which is Melbourne Knights B. Therefore, the Melbourne Knights A team will be in Group B. And now, Tommy, if you could...
Number 6.
And now if you can put balls 5, 8 and 9 in there, which represents the remaining Victorian clubs.
Okay, are you ready?
The first one out will go into Group C.
So that's number 9.
Sorry, what number was that?
Number 9.
Number 9, which is Wednesday nights, into Group C. And now back to Group A.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Dandy City. And the last Victorian club into Group B will be number 8. It should be Strathmore Split. Strathmore Split. Now we can have balls 1, 2, 3, and 4 into the pot, which will represent Canberra, Hurstville, Gold Coast Knights, and Adelaide, Croatia. And we'll start with the first one into Group C. First number out will go into Group C.
So that's number 2.
Number 2, Hurstville Zagreb into Group C. Back to Group A.
Number 1.
Number 1, Canberra, Croatia. That completes the first group of 3 with 2 balls left. And number B, Group B.
3.
Number 3, Gold Coast Knights.
And the last one. Number 4.
Number 4, Adelaide, Croatia. So that concludes our 3 groups of 3 and the drawing of the veterans. Much thanks to our Mladi Plavi for their help tonight. It's been an interesting evening with them running around and balls flying everywhere. So thank you. And hopefully in a number of years' time, you'll be attending one of these tournaments and we'll be calling out your team. So again, to them and the boys, thank you for your assistance tonight. And we'll just get confirmation of our Veterans League moving forward, which will show us that the Group A, Melbourne Knights B, with Dandy City and Canberra, Croatia. In Group B, Melbourne Knights A, Strathmore Split, Gold Coast Knights. And rounding off our veteran division is Group C, Wednesday Knights, Hurstville Zagreb, and Adelaide, Croatia. So once again, the top two in every group, the best third place, and then the lowest 2 third places will play off for a playoff into the quarterfinals. They will only lose 1 team at the end of the round 1. So that concludes that draw. Times, the only thing I wanted to touch on, I don't know if we had a slide for that, was the women's exhibition. And what that is we are in an attempt to drive female football. And we understand that there's a lot of challenges out there for a lot of clubs with women's football and attending our tournaments. Unfortunately, last year we only had the 4 teams that attended the tournament in Adelaide. This year, as we've seen earlier tonight, we've had 5 teams. So we are trying to relax the rules a little bit, trying to entice clubs to potentially enter. This year, we've had NK Bunker, O'Connor Knights, and Wollongong Croatia, who have all indicated that they are trying to start a female program at their clubs for 2025. And they are trying to use the tournament as a bit of a carrot to get the girls together, come and experience some Croatian culture, enjoy some times away, with the hope of going back. So this will be a exhibition startup tournament. The girls will play each other similar to what we've said with the veterans. They'll play each other once. The top team in the group at the end of the day will go straight into the final, and the 2 remaining teams will play for the other spot, and their grand final will be played on Saturday as one of the last games there, just to try and give them a little bit of impetus, with the hope of other clubs following suit next year and the years belong, so that we can try and drive our female participation at these tournaments a little bit greater. But that's it from me as far as the draw is concerned. If there's any other questions or anything like that, we've got 108 games to get through over 4 days, starting on Thursday at 2 o'clock kickoff over 7 fields and 2 venues. And Dinamo's got a lot to do in 7 weeks. But again, thank you, Boutro. Thank you, Tom. And see how we go.
Gentlemen, thank you very, very much for everything. Damien up there on the Gold Coast, Mark and Tom there at the Dinamo Club Rooms at Churchill Reserve. Thank you so much, and really appreciate it. Well, it's real now. The tournament is ready to go as far as the groupings are concerned, and now it's just a matter of some last-minute preparations in time for the one day in September, Budo.
Yeah, really exciting. Tom just said 4 weeks from today, we'll be probably at this time we'll be host the opening ceremony. We'll have some games on all the fields after the opening ceremony. So we're really excited. We want to welcome not just the teams, but also those of the Croatian community to the tournament from each state, and we just can't wait. We've been talking about this for over a year now.
We have.
And as a Dinamo committee, we're just really excited to put this on for the first time in our club's history since 2000.
Yeah, awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on DinamoTV. Folks, we're going to be back very, very shortly, and we are going to round up tonight's episode, and we might even go one last time through all those groups. You are watching DinamoTV. Back in a second.
Westar Prestige is a family-owned second-generation business which is celebrating 50 years of operations this year. They're a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. However, they service all regions in the state, with many of their clients travelling from far and wide to use their services. They're also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend their premises. They're an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facilities for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of their ongoing affiliation with these brands. They also work closely with a number of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust them to be part of their preferred repairer network. Their support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing Australian-owned business.
Welcome back to DinamoTV. Damo, mate, everything went rather smoothly despite those last-minute withdrawals. We might actually go through the groups once again, just to reiterate things, and let's start with the men's Division 1.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, it was a little bit stressful there at one stage. It's more so the group Division 2 stage, but no, Division 1 looks exciting. O'Connor Knights obviously doing very well in the ACT NPL right now, sitting third. Sydney United's just beat Apia last night in their semi-final, so they're going great guns. Adelaide Croatia, last year's hosts, will always put up a good show. St Albans Dinamo, this year's host, will want to win at their own backyard, and Melbourne Knights, well, they've won the most tournaments going around and only around the corner from them. So that Group A looks like a very good group.
The group of death.
The group of death, correct. Group B, obviously Canberra Croatia is sitting second, 1 point above O'Connor in ACT at the moment. Hurstville, Zagreb and Strathmore Split, I think, might have their work cut out. But look, both teams always come to the tournament. They're the only non-NPL sides aside from Geelong. Geelong's playing NPL 2 at the moment, but they're the only non-NPL teams in Division 1. But kudos to both clubs who always want to strive and challenge themselves against the best. So hopefully they both do well. Dandy City had a good season this year with their run in the semi-finals of the Victorian NPL, and North Geelong maybe got a little bit to prove to their spectators after a ordinary season in NPL 2 in Victoria.
Yeah, as we spoke earlier, the women's division is a single division, so there's no draw needed there. Canberra Croatia, Dandenong City, North Geelong Warriors, St Albans Dinamo, and Strathmore Split. And
if I can just quickly, I think I saw a comment there earlier about I don't know exact wording what it was, but it was disappointing that the women's comp is split. Again, we've got rules within the tournament. It wasn't our preferred choice, but we have got rules within the tournament that we can only allow teams into the tournament who are players that are registered and played for their club throughout the year. So the 3 teams that we have brought in are clubs, are brand new teams that haven't played for their club together, but there's Bunker, O'Connor and Wollongong. Hence why then we didn't want to, I suppose, devalue the Division 1 draw by bringing in ringings, for want of a better word. So hence why the 2 comps have been split for this year. But the hope is that those 3 clubs will be able to get a female program off the ground at their club for next year, as well as maybe then enticing other clubs around Australia to come along. I mean, obviously I live on the Gold Coast, and the Gold Coast Knights have got a very successful women's team up here, as well as Brisbane Knights won promotion as well. So now with a bit of luck, we'll be able to get them down to a Croatian tournament next year.
And it must also be said that I know the O'Connor Knights, for example, are looking to starting a senior women's team next year. Yeah. And the last thing you'd want is to come to a tournament where you might be beaten 10-0, 15-0 and get demoralised and then decide, maybe this is not really what I want. So, yeah, it's totally understandable. Moving to Division 2 now, this was the one that caused us lots of headaches 10 minutes before we went to air.
Again, half an hour before we went in, we had 15 teams. 20 minutes before we went in, we had 14. And 5 minutes before we went in, we had 13. So there was a lot of work happening behind the scenes. And thankfully, your IT skills came to the fore, and you were able to make some changes on our PowerPoint, but we still didn't quite get it right in studio. But, we landed.
Yeah, there are the Division 2 groupings. 5 teams in Group A: St Albans Dinamo, Melbourne Knights, Strathmore Split, Wellington Croatia, Brisbane Knights. And Groups B and Group C, Damien, they've got 4 teams apiece.
Yeah. So what we'll do is Group A will take the top 3 teams. We'll progress through. In Groups B and C, the top 2 teams will progress through, and then we'll have a playoff. No playoff in this one. So they'll determine the quarterfinals. So we'll get down from 13 to 8.
Yeah, and then now we've got just the oldies to come, the golden oldies. And if we start off with the Masters are the over 35s. Is that right?
Over 35s, under 45. So yeah, Group A, North Geelong Warriors, NK Bunker. Stable team that always attends our tourneys. Strathmore Split, again, filling up a team in nearly every division. Hurstville Zagreb groups out the Group A. And then in Group B, Gorspich Bears with their co-tenants at Dinamo, their St Albans Vukovar and Melbourne Tornado. And then the New South Wales entrant from Willoughby Dallies.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, it's the veterans, the over 45s, well represented in this category.
Yeah, 9 teams, which is good to see for our older gentlemen. And this is the fields that the ambulances really need to be at, I think. But only joking. Hopefully everything goes well. But Melbourne Knights B, Dandy City and Canberra Croatia in Group A. Melbourne Knights A, Strathmore Split, and the Gold Coast Knights boys in Group B. And then Wednesday nights, Hurstville Zagreb and Adelaide Croatia round out Group C and the tournament draw.
There you go. So excellent. That was all conducted well today. Now, we're not the only Croatian tournament happening around in the diaspora. Apparently, there's one happening in North America.
Yeah, our friends, I guess we're Pokoni Fuljanic, who was the brainchild of our tournament in Australia, which Sabres is celebrating its 50th anniversary, not so much for our tournaments, only because of our little thing called COVID a couple of years ago. But our friends in North America, Canada, Croatians are celebrating their 60th anniversary with their Croatian tournament, which starts off this weekend, going through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Cleveland, Ohio is hosting that, but they've got 21 teams, I think, participating in that. But it's great to see that. Must be something strange about us Croatian people, Tonch. As doesn't matter where we go, you can always find one and who enjoys kicking the ball and getting together with their own kind. Yeah. So we wish them all the best if they're listening for this weekend, and hope we can get another visitor to us soon.
It would be fantastic. It would be absolutely great. Well, it's been
we need to potentially do one in Hawaii. We'll do a combined one in Hawaii or somewhere. We'll take over Hawaii for a week.
Maybe you never know. Maybe Nepal, isn't that now becoming a bit of a Croatian colony or something like that?
It was halfway. What's something halfway?
Damo, we're going to have to leave you there. Thank you so much for being a part of DinamoTV tonight. We look forward to seeing you in Melbourne.
Appreciate it once again, Todd, for all your work, and to Dinamo, all the best, and to all our Tawny friends, good luck, safe travels, and see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Will do. That's Damien Bresic from the Croatian Soccer Association of Australia. Just a reminder, on next week's show, next Thursday night, we will have part 2 of that Dinamo Living Legends interview with the great Miki Cholina. Lots of positive feedback from part 1. And if you haven't seen that, jump over to our YouTube channel or even on our Facebook page. You'll be able to see the interview with Miki Cholina. The first part next week will be the second part. On that note, folks, have a lovely, lovely evening. Have a lovely weekend. And remember, it is Father's Day. Sretan Očev Dan to all in the Dinamo family and outside the Dinamo family who might be tuning in to this show. Good night, folks. We'll see you next Thursday.